when the lights go down in the city. Hey, y'all, come on in. It's good to see you.
We just set our clocks ahead, so we're gonna have a dark fall.
It's a beautiful morning with the Barbershop Duet.
Hi, I'm Marcus Klinger with Klinger Vocal Studio.
And I'm Sarah Vincent with Sarah Vincent Virtual Pilates.
But on Wednesdays and Saturdays,
we are the Barbershop Duet.
Hey, y'all, come on in. It's so good to see you. Thank you for finding our little barbershop. If you happen to be here during one of the live premieres, why, come on in the live chat and meet the Whiff Pack, a cool group of folks from all over the world hanging out. They'd love to meet you too and know what you're shaving with today.
We wanted to show you for our mention today this new fun bar soap from Sterling. We have candy corn.
Rod and Mandy's imagination is limitless over there. So for Halloween this year, I loaded this into the shower. Now, we kind of had a meeting. We agreed it doesn't smell all that much like candy corn off the bar.
Right.
But y'all, you put this in the shower, you give it a day, and all of a sudden you are bathing in Halloween goodness. What do you get from this?
It's funny because I just see candy corn like the candy and think immediate cavities. So it's kind of nice to have this version, just to be able to take a whiff and enjoy it without having to worry about the bellyache or the big teeth.
Right. And y'all, it may be one of the more neglected Halloween candies, but in a shave soap, what a beautiful scent that is. A little bit lighter, but sugary and a little mysterious.
And it's undeniable. Like, it is just straight up candy corn. I like how simple the concept is. Let's just read off the sales page to see if they can explain it better than we can. You can practically feel the gritty sugar melting between your teeth. The creamy, that is the right word, vanilla and thick buttery. That right there, that's the scent. Will take you straight back to your childhood. And it does. It keeps it from getting somehow too sweet.
Right. That
it's just in that pocket of creamy and buttery.
And y'all think about the wide world of crazy Halloween candy. Candy corn is the perfect scent to have in your shower. Just light and subtle, but reminding you it's the Halloween season.
And after talking to our friend Josue, his household had decided that this needs to be a shave soap. And we'll put our vote in too.
And if you have kiddos in the house, you don't want to get them Haverford, get them a candy corn bar soap for the shower, right? And what's our soap today?
Our soap today is Darkfall, which is an autumn seasonal over at Declaration Grooming, and it seems like it's been around for a good chunk of years.
And y'all, our very first weekend of episodes included a Declaration Grooming soap, Sonnet Lumiere, and I am so glad we did that one in our very first week because it really set the width and breadth of what we were about to experience in this world. So y'all, Declaration Grooming's a special day. Let's meet the soap. All right, y'all, so from the sales page at declarationgrooming.com.
Darkfall is a spicy oriental designed to capture the spirit of fall in the rural South. And then I'm going to stop reading because there's a lot of things that I don't want to see yet.
Yo, I'm excited. California's known for a lot of things, surfing and theme parks, but we are not known for autumn. We are not known for burning leaves. We are not known for those things. You got to go to the South to find those little nooks and crannies. So I'm excited because we've never been, but you're going to see a couple of people transported today. Let's unbox it.
Because this is their autumn seasonal. Like, this is the one that they picked. So what is it going to be?
And it comes back every year like Santa Claus.
Hey, and you get trick or treat.
Oh, they got jelly bellies, y'all. Factory's only about an hour from here, y'all. This is exciting.
Yeah, the belly flops are the best thing because they come out a little misfigured, but they taste great.
And they're way cheaper. All right, y'all. You never get a second chance to make a first impression.
Those are such autumn colors. Like, clearly, it's autumn. Here, get it.
Here we go. Taking me back. Y'all, I don't know why. I was really expecting something dank. I was really expecting something autumn. I was really expecting the dark in Darkfall, but my nose went,
There's more pretty things for fall.
Wait a minute. I have to readjust my expectations here because this is not dark.
Okay.
This is beautiful.
That's even more fun. A first impression that you thought you knew, but you don't.
Wow. I mean, okay, let's have a corner conversation. There are bass notes in here for sure. Think Carmen Sandiego. It is. It's bassy. You can stand on them. But they're beautiful, and they're not crazy intense. So think of a song that's been mixed where the bass does vibrate through your body, but it's not turned up to the point where it's taking away all of the other notes. Everything in this that's sitting on that bass is beautiful.
Oh,
hold on. Whoa, okay. Oh, and it's intriguing, y'all. It is a shave soap scent. Okay. So these notes are going to be there for you to discover. This is like presenting them in a new way, but it's given my nose that fabulous tug of war. So hold on a second.
Are we outside? Is it
Yes.
like a vibe?
Okay. we are beyond the tree line.
Okay.
Y'all. We are in the shadows, and the sun has gone down. But here's the thing. I'm not getting like that air of evil. I'm not getting that air of like danger in this. And I think that's why my brain's interpreting it in the way that it is. It's light. It's friendly. It's fun.
Okay.
And yes, it does have that air of going into the forest for a little bonfire or a campfire, but you're going to sit around and make s'mores and tell stories and have a beer. You're not going to like go into the forest to chop down the headless horseman. So I do get the sense of a bonfire. I do get the sense of leaves. I do get the sense of a smokiness that's kind of a tarry.
Okay.
Not like a tarry. Not like a tar. Hold on. Tar. T-A-R. It's not sweet, but there's something in it that has a sweet note that keeps it totally on the surface of the water. So it doesn't dive down into anything bitter or anything sour or anything squinchy, because there is just the perfect amount of something charming in here where it doesn't take it all the way to sweet, but it doesn't let it descend into anything squinchy.
Okay.
Whoa.
Maybe like a tar or like a honey or like a something like that. Nothing gourmandy, right? You're still outdoors.
Right. Oh, no.
Okay.
Gourmand. No, this is the other side of that. And this is sort of in the same family maybe as Sonnet Lumiere, only because it's using the not sweets to be the charming. And it's not like a leather. It's not like a tobacco. Whoa, it's using the soils, it's using the bark of the trees, it's using the leaves, it's using the smoke in the air, it's using the real things that I would hope if we ever do go on a trip through the South to look at the foliage, that's the sense in the air I would get. So it's a real vibe. It's a real place, and I can kind of see the leaves burning over there in the distance. Y'all, my grandpa had a farm, E-I-E-I-O, and there was nothing more calming than waking up to the sound of magpies in the trees driving my grandfather nuts, and just that smell of a morning farm waking up, and those first drops of dew being sucked into the air by the sun, right?
Yep.
That's what this captures, and
Interesting.
does it in such a beautiful way that if you look at this painting, your eye just goes, wow. Because you could have drawn this like this and it wouldn't have looked so good, but this is drawn beautifully. I love this.
Oh, I'm excited. I have no idea. I think I kind of know what you're painting here, but I really don't know if I'm...
And it's lighter in intensity. I don't think my nose still has gotten under all of it. I think I need to save that for the lather.
Okay.
But see what you get. It is intensely masculine in that it's earthy.
Okay, I was going to ask that.
I think it could definitely be not only worn, but appreciated by the feminine
Okay,
side of
so
things.
it's still more like the place that it's taking you to.
100%. 100%. So a lot of times the vibes are like 80, 85, 90.
Right.
This is like 99.999%. You're actually standing
undeniable.
there in Georgia.
Okay,
Right. All
we
right.
are now in that location.
See what you get.
So I'm about to be transported to the south here.
Y'all, I can see the Coca-Cola plant over there, and there are pecans on the ground. We are in Georgia.
Ooh, it does have a little darker pour for those who like to see. I'm curious.
I know. I'm curious to see what you're going to think.
Oh, interesting.
Right?
I had to take a long
Yes.
look. There was a lot of things happening
So
there.
not sweet, right? What are you getting?
I'm getting like spice,
Yeah.
galore, woods,
Yep.
the deeper sides, but not... I know it's called Darkfall, but it's deeper to me than it is. It's not like a blackout dark. Like
No,
there's
no.
depth to the scent,
Yes.
but it's not something that I wouldn't want to visit. Like it's
Right.
not too dark that it's
Right.
like I feels like I shouldn't be there.
It's friendly to
It
me.
is. I almost got a picture of like if someone had a really like old time bar that they have, you know,
Right.
there's just lacquer and years of stuff on that bar with
Yeah.
drinks and like it's just had a lot of time.
Right.
Like
There's
that.
a hitching post out front where
Right.
the horses
But
used to come
the
up
wood
to it.
itself is dark.
Right.
Like just from the oils of people being using it and stuff
Yeah.
like there's time in
Right.
those woods. And I kind of got that here because it's not a cinnamon, but there's some kind of a spice.
Yes.
And I know I threw in sap for you earlier. Like I was trying to think of something organic that was like
No, but it is a sweeter
Spicy.
spice. Like not a sweet spice, but a sweeter spice. And that
Yes.
for me is what's giving it that balance.
but I get like deep browns
Yeah,
and burgundies.
right.
I can't decide. I know you said you didn't think there was a leather. I don't think it's the Sonnet Lumiere. Like that leather is completely different. There's something that is masquerading that could almost try to be a leather. It's not.
Oh.
But I almost feel like, you know, on the inside of the tree where
Right.
the bark comes off and you can see all of that
Right.
darker, deeper
Yeah,
colors.
yeah,
Like there's
yeah, yeah.
something like that. I feel like it's not an animalisk musk or something.
Right.
But it's something in the woods that's got that
Yes,
maybe
I would
oody
agree.
side.
Yeah.
It's not quite the damp leaves side.
Right.
But there's something in there that you're outdoors, you're in the depths of the trees, there's lots of darkness happening.
Right. Y'all, I used to go camping every year in the Santa Cruz Mountains with my family at Big Basin State Park. And the campsite that we would get every year, if you crossed this little creek, there was this giant tree that had been the victim of a fire. So the entire inside of it had been burned and hollowed out. And then the ground under it had kind of been like taken out down to the roots. So this little tree became like a fort. It had a door, it had a window, and we spent most of our camping trip in or around our new little fort. So inside of it, you still got the sense that it had burned.
Yeah.
The wood was still charred. You could still smell that, but in a way that you knew that might have been 60 years ago, but you could still smell it. The dirt was under my feet. The leaves were in the air. The bark of the tree, trying desperately to come back to life, had a spice to it. So when I smell this, I'm taken back to our little fort in that campsite. And I love this because it was a super fun smell of vacation and fun and being away from home. But it was done with very earthy, like smoky, amazing, real things. And that's this for me.
It's interesting to me because when I smell this, if I could take some of the recent ones that we've had with the cognac and cigars and those kind of things where that was more of a lighter brown color to me.
Right.
If you could take nature and recreate that same spice and vibe of
Right.
like a humidor and stuff, but with wood and that side, there's something about like the natural spices that are being turned up or things that are happening because of what's in the scent that it's not how you normally would look at wood or something like it's been kind of put a new light or lens on it because maybe of the season shifting or it's getting damper outside. Like whatever the other parts are in the secret weapons of this, they're taking things that you think you know and looking at them differently. The spices are different, the woods are different. It's dark, but I think dark puts you in a category where you think of like dirty, dank, that kind of dark. And that's not the dark that I'm getting here. Nope. It's more sophisticated. Yes. It's not a cologne. But like what they're doing with woods and things happening here almost converge on creating something like that.
Well, I love what you said because the same way that Sean had to build a maple accord using cedars, it is almost like they used accords of bark and wood and earth to make a tobacco sense out of those. Could that kind of be what you
I think that's what I'm trying to say, because there is not I don't think there's a tobacco in here. And I don't think there's a leather in here. But they're taking things from nature and almost turning them in a different way to create a similar vibe of what you would get from a tobacco or a leather.
Right. I totally agree that there's not tobacco, but they're using this stuff to kind of aim toward that, toward what would a tobacco sense be if you had to build it from stuff in a forest bonfire.
Right. And I think people that vibe towards those type of scents, they crave that kind of feeling that you get from smelling those. And this is like a whole different take on that type of experience.
And they do tell you that in your journey of fragrances, you start loving the sweeters, the lighters, the gourmands, but after you've been in that world a few years, you start to crave the darks, the mysteries, the spicies, the squinchies. This is a lovely stepping stone on that journey. So I could see somebody that wouldn't exactly want to put like a chai maple syrup on their face. This is the other side of that, but somehow just as earthy and just as beautiful and just as spicy.
Like, I'm trying to think if somebody walked by me smelling like this, I would think they would have a story up their sleeve. Like, they know life in a different way than I do.
And I love that the smoke in this is creating a sense of squinchiness for my nose. So I know there's one note in this that's not meant to be the crowd pleaser, but I love how that note makes you grateful for all the others and somehow helps you experience them better through that one sort of squinchy note in the middle.
It's funny because people have asked us like the different lanes of fall, and we have like the candy kind of gourmandy cookies, that whole thing.
Candy corn, pumpkin spice, the Mary Engelbreit version of fall.
And then it jumps into more like the ambers, the fougères, like kind of approaching more the tamer things. Then it jumps off into characters and different places, or when the seasons shift, like more that nature vibe coming through. So far.
love it. And y'all, even Southern Witchcraft, another Georgia soap creator, those are more sweeter. Those are more sort of geared toward a vibe of specific Draculas or specific werewolves.
They have their thumbprint in the scent. It's
Right.
different than this.
This is not as sweet as the Autumn Ashes. This is not as whimsical. This is more real. This is
Yeah.
more your actual forest clearing. Really did take me to that place where I was inside of that tree for a week.
Right. There's something like the word raw keeps coming
Yes,
to me. Like
right.
there's just something like if you literally had to grab things in nature that you could find
Right.
to make this scent, that's what's in here.
And then at the very other side, hold on, at the very other side is a tiny, 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 just as you say goodbye, wisp of a dark, lovely, spicy 60s cologne. Or am I crazy?
I think that's what I was trying to say about
A
the
wisp
spices
of it
earlier.
at the very end. Something that didn't really belong in the forest,
Yeah.
right? Like that.
Or
like,
unless that's like an oud thing, like there's something that's used in other things that I can kind of pick out, but it's not
Right.
used the same way.
Ooh, so y'all, I think it's time. Can we please take a look at these scent notes? All right, y'all, back to the sales page at declarationgrooming.com.
Darkfall is a spicy oriental designed to capture the spirit of fall in the rural South. Okay, our first one up, we got
You just
Agarwood
said
or
this.
oud.
Oud, y'all, right? Beautiful. And I do sense that. That is the very last wisp, I think, that you're
Right.
getting.
I couldn't tell if it was like the bringing me in note or at the end, or maybe it's both, like a little bookend, but
a little
it's
bit
there.
of that incensey smoke at the very
Yeah.
end, I think. And then,
Amber, which again, I think that was like the sap, the honey-ish
Whoa.
kind of thing that we were like, it's not getting too dark.
right. And for me, that might be the one thing that's keeping this a little tiny, tiny bit sweet. It's not a sweet soap, but I think that's what keeps it right on the surface. And then,
And benzoin provide a deep,
it.
warm base for the cinnamon and clove top notes. Clove.
And
That's the one okay, now that I read it, I can tell it's there. But again, it's the darkest side of a
Right.
clove I've ever smelled.
and you know what's cool? I am not getting sweet from the clove
No.
or the cinnamon.
No.
I'm getting it from the amber.
but
So-
I thought it was the bark on the tree somehow.
Right. And if you don't love a super sweet soap, imagine a cinnamon that isn't sweet. Imagine a clove that isn't sweet, where you're invited to discover the spice and the earth
Right.
in those without being deluged by its super sweet character.
Right.
That's what's in here. And that's wild.
But that almost leads into this next thing, which birch, you said tar. We have birch tar. Marcus was right.
Oh, well, it's unmistakable. I mean, that birch tar is a note that when your nose senses it from 6 miles away, you're like, is there birch tar on here? But I love that it's standing in for smoke, because if it were something like Cade is the ringmaster at a funeral, y'all. It is just such an intense scent note and usually a little out of place. So I am so glad when they were needing smoke, they went with a birch tar. That
Yeah.
was brilliant because it helps keep everything based.
Because it even says, birch tar adds a slight smokiness that represents the ever-present smell of burning leaves that heralds the arrival of fall in Georgia. Burning leaves,
And I
eh?
love that too, because it's not petrichor yet. The rain has not come yet. We're just burning the dried leaves. And that's why it's birch tar. Whoa, this is wild.
I mean, even now reading this, I'm curious once we lather if they're going to start to brighten a little, because we're
Right.
talking about how deep and dark this scent is. But I'm
Why
curious.
don't you introduce that beautiful
This is
brush
my
of yours?
lovely trotter brush that was sent to us by the Smaldridge family. It's so pretty.
Yo, and this is a super soft and buttery soap. Look at that,
okay.
like the butter on the counter. I'm going to push that into our KUN bowl. This is the abalone colorway from the KUN workshop. We love this bowl. And this is our patented vertical bloom of the soap from the Barbershop Duet. We just get the soap wet and then let the water hang out there at the bottom of the bowl. Now, the Declaration Grooming base is a little bit of a thirsty monster. We love that. So we're going to put a couple of extra pumps of water into the bowl. And you want me to do the others? All right. So what we're going to do is just get the brush a little bit wet, and then we're going to start to bring the soap onto the bristles. Forwards, backwards, and then the patented Barbershop Duet brush spin. Turn your brush 25%. Then do it again. Yeah, gives a new orientation to the bristles against the soap. Because what we're doing is leaving the water alone at the bottom of that bowl and just loading that soap itself in between the bristles of the brush. Spin the brush again. Then go forwards, then go backwards. So right now, I've got about 20% of the soap left at the bottom of the bowl. The rest of it is in between the bristles of the brush. Push down so you get a little bit of the backbone. Then, when you are ready, go down into the water, because right now it is ready to do the world's most glorious face lather, or go down, grab the water at the bottom of that bowl, and it's going to become a fantastic bowl lather.
I'm getting whiffs over here.
So
Let me just
look
say.
at this. Oh, man. Well, because now you're building the lather in between the bristles of the brush with the water in the bottom of the bowl, not just the bottom of the bowl.
I'm curious if it got lighter, if it got darker, if there's more parts that are coming through.
It just got realer.
Oh. Realer,
Whoa.
eh?
And
Are you done?
she's
Okay.
leaving. This is not
Scared
for the
her.
canines.
It's too dark for Elaine.
Well, I know we promised you caramel apple. It's coming later.
Whoa, something a little sandy, something beautifully earthy, something even a little bit stony?
Oh, yeah. There is something that got turned up, and
Right.
there's other things that got turned down.
Oh.
Interesting.
All right, y'all. This is something you will only see on the Barbershop Duet. This is the left turn at Albuquerque with on 3. 1, 2. Wow. Whoa. Super real.
That
here
birch
in
tar
the
is much
soap.
more prominent. I think
Wow.
I think that's the one that got turned up.
This is like standing there. Y'all, this
Yeah.
is wild. There is nothing in this that makes it cartoony. There is nothing in this that makes it a caricature. This is a real place.
Yeah, I feel like I'm in the woods, like I'm in a picture. There's a picture that my parents have in their front living room, and there's these redwood trees that kind of go around, and there's these little cute little gnomes in the picture. But there's something about how dark the picture is that the color of their little gnome hats pop out. But I just sense the deep darkness of the woods, and the smell is coming through. Like you're there unmistakably.
And y'all, we have been to the Bohemian Grove, or at least as close as we can get in Muir Woods, which you can see from our front porch. And this has that sense of being in a Muir Woods, foggy, cold morning.
But yeah, it's definitely in the fall season. Like you can tell there's dampness. There's different parts that are happening to the woods that aren't normally there.
Love this.
And I tried to smell a little more for the clove and the cinnamon.
Right.
But now that the birch tar turned up, like those almost disappeared a little bit more into the background.
Right. It's as if you took clove and cinnamon and sucked the sweet out of them. And I think what's left is fabulous to be able to discover them without the sweet note.
Right. I just get like a woodsy spice that then disappears into that birch tar kind of smokiness vibe. It's an adventure, y'all. Let me just say.
And y'all, our clocks just fell back. Why don't we take this a little deeper, too? So, I often wonder, while this does definitively take me to my campground, to my burned out redwood tree, what would happen if somebody walked through the office with this on?
Yeah, right? I don't know, now smelling it in the kind of lathered version,
Right.
I picture someone in like a really dark leather jacket.
Right.
That was just, whether they got off the motorcycle or they've been in the woods.
Right.
Like there's something, it's cold outside. They brought that coolness in with them.
Absolutely.
And they may have been near like a little log cabin that had smoke coming out the
Right.
top. Like it just, there's something about that outdoors coming inside that I'm getting.
So, grown-up conversation. Sturgis does not smell like green Irish tweed. This is what that motorcycle gang in Pee Wee Herman smelled like. y'all.
There you
Not
go.
everybody wants to smell like the sweets. Not everybody wants to smell like an Irish field, right? Sometimes it is
Right?
about the darkers and the dankier scents.
Like I really feel like you're bundled up because it's cold outside. It's not quite snowing yet,
Right.
But you can feel that shift in the season, which requires you to have a fire going a little bit more, which
Right.
it does make it darker most of the day.
And while it may not be crazy sweet, it is super cozy. It is
That's a good
super
word.
comforting.
Like to me, I feel like if this was happening outside or around me, I'd be inside under my little blanket reading my book,
Right.
and totally content with life as the fire's going.
This smells like an actual cabin. Like,
Yeah.
this is where I would like to hang out for a few
Right.
days if I'm going to write a book about Walden.
And there's something about being far off the grid that I'm getting coming through here.
right,
Like you have
right.
acres around you that there are no other people inside.
Right. I mean, if you smell a Ventus, you know there's probably 2 guys over there in a Starbucks that can help you out if you need it. But this, y'all, this is an adventurous spirit that likes to spend a lot of time where there is no cell signal, if you know what I mean.
That's true. I oddly feel like you may want the splash just to get the pure
Right.
scent of what this is actually coming across of. Like it works in the base, but there is such a shift from the tub to here that I'm very curious what that next tier would bring into play.
And I do love that they took the bitter out of the tar and they took the sweet out of the cinnamon and clove, and yet everything that's left over is just the perfect balance to help their personalities come to life in the play.
And I get the bark, I get the smokiness, like whatever your nose wants to kind of vibe towards more,
Right.
it'll take you throughout the whole scent. And the rest all matches. So if you want to go more on the birch star side, that'll take you through. If you want to smell for more of the other smoky side and just the woodsy sides on alone, that'll take you through.
But this might actually get the award for the best named soap in the cabinet because, y'all, does this smell like a dark fall? I am telling you, right?
Yes, it does. If you don't take dark as like just the word itself, if you take it
if
as
you don't take it as like evil, like dun dun dun
Yeah,
dun,
right?
dun, dun, no, not like that. So it's pretty easy. I'll just be exploring Muir Woods in the autumn, right about the time the park's going to close. Well, you're going to start to see a couple of celebrities and a couple of members of the royal family, and maybe a past president. Why is everybody wearing robes? And what's that giant owl they're burning down? And you're going to get your own. So head over to declarationgrooming.com where you can find this and a ton of other stuff I want. Well, I've had my shave with Darkfall. Y'all, I think shaving soaps are like jazz music. At first, when you experience Kinda Blue, it's amazing. But soon, you start to want something a little crunchier, and pretty soon you're listening to stuff nobody understands. Y'all, this is a delightful step on that journey into the less crowd-pleasing, into the more sophisticated, into the darker, into the spicier, more realistic sense. I am adoring this, and last night, when I didn't know what I wanted to shave with, this called to me, and boy, what a beautiful shave I got with it. That post-shave video on Declaration Grooming just tells you there's another level of work being done here, and I could smell the leaves. I could sense the walk through the autumn streets of rural Georgia. Yo, mission accomplished. This is awesome. Welcome to Messages.
So this is your last chance to get in on our $20 gift card to Murphy and McNeil.
Yeah, y'all, and all you have to do to be eligible is send us an email here to WeSentYou@theBarbershopDuet.com so that we can get back to you. It's the only way we communicate about our giveaways. And then check back here on November 30th on our first Christmas episode when our Alexa helps us choose the lucky winner on the show.
Best of luck. It's interesting, though, because they even talked about burning leaves, and I didn't realize that was such a thing for fall.
Oh, even up in Nevada County, where my mom is from, they have, like, leaf burn days at the beginning of autumn, and everybody's allowed, based on, like, the last name you have or something, on different days to burn all the leaves in their yard. So it's just something that you do. I can't imagine that around here. Around here, they're literally turning off our electricity so that the wind doesn't make sparks from the power lines.
But I do get a sense of, even in Grass Valley, when we went to like kind of the small festivals, or we went into like the mining towns, like there is something about that, just like nature's way of having age in a scent.
That's
it's
just
there.
it. And she said it right, y'all. It is nature's way. This is not a frontier land smell. This is the absolute real thing. So if you're a hiker, if you have a backpack, if you have those shoes that let your toes do that grippy thing, this is going to be
you are one with nature. You will enjoy this. If you like camping, if you like being off-grid and unplugging from life, this will help take you there.
This is what Lewis and Clark smell like.
Probably. And it adds that perfect side to fall. Like, we do have the fun little kind of hallmarky sense, but this one is brave enough to just take you straight up to the dark fall.
The week they left. It's the smell the week they left, not the week they arrived.
There you go. Don't forget your next appointment with the Barbershop Duet.
You'll smell better just watching this.